Welcome back to Film My Watchlist. I'm Richard Keeney. Today I'll be reviewing new thriller Searching. The film is directed by Anish Giganti and stars John Cho as a young widowed father who is left reeling upon the disappearance of his teenage daughter Margot. Following in the vein of recent films like Unfriended, Searching takes place entirely within the screens of electronic devices, prominently a laptop. This creative decision leads to interesting innovation and an emphasis on visual storytelling, but also stretches implausibility. Regarding the emphasis on visual storytelling, the director manages to effectively plant subtle clues throughout the mise-en-scène, as well as conversely undercut the perfectly adequate visual evocation of story. This is done through an unnecessary reliance on hammering connections home visually, as well as the use of overbearing music cues. At times this makes the fascinating concept seem heavy-handed or over-directed, particularly when it attempts to sell emotional or suspenseful moments. In a similar respect to the over-top music cues, the use of artificial camera shake during moments of tension seems forced and over the top. It's this struggle between quite clever uses of subtlety and a complete disregard for it that undermines the potential effect of the film. Searching is certainly unpredictable. Its central mystery takes the audience in a number of unexpected directions, but it seems the writers were so wrapped up in creating a twisty mystery of red herrings and shocking revelations that character development and tonal consistency fell by the wayside. John Cho gives a committed performance as David, but his character seems somewhat hindered by the relentless movement of the plot, where beyond his reactions of stress and sadness, we don't really get a strong sense of his character as a fully rendered human being. His relationship with his daughter Margot is littered with cliché, which prevents us from fully investing ourselves in his predicament. Likewise with Deborah Messing, who plays Vic, the detective investigating the case. Her character feels undeveloped, and though she's a flawed character like John Cho's David, she still feels like a bland archetype with often monotone line delivery. Both characters frequently fall into the role of espousing unnatural, expository dialogue, often over-explaining what we can already visually surmise from events on screen. If this can be said for a mostly talented main cast, the side characters are even worse in this regard. Voice acting is prominent throughout the film, with a number of adolescent side characters required to sell dramatic moments convincingly, and ultimately feeling amateurish in their performances. Much like the film's presentation of screens within screens, the people portrayed in it lack serious depth. Tonally, the film seems a bit at odds with what it's trying to accomplish. It seems unsure of whether it wants to be an unnerving crime thriller or an uplifting portrayal of triumph in the face of grief. This leads to a film that opens with bombastic, life-affirming strings and melancholic piano melodies, yet partway through has the audience seriously considering the possibility of nefarious incest as a cause for Margot's disappearance. Unpredictable this turn undoubtedly is, but it's one thing to shock your audience and another thing entirely to jar them. This isn't to say the film is in any way a failure. One area it succeeds in is its satisfying plot structure in terms of setup and payoff. For good or ill, it seems that everything on screen happens for a reason, and if viewers are keen-eyed enough, they may be able to spot hidden visual clues before the protagonist does. One moment in particular regarding stock photos is brilliantly unnerving in its execution. Furthermore, the film's commentary on the way teenagers act in a social media and technology-obsessed society seem quite well conveyed. The loneliness capable online, even when surrounded by endless abilities to connect, while not completely groundbreaking as an idea, is similarly well conjured. Understandably given the genre, the uninhibited scope of online data and surveillance is portrayed in a largely positive light, as a necessary method of investigation rather than an invasion of privacy. That being said, the potential dangers of speaking with strangers online is a prominent theme. Searching's use of technology is quite clever for the most part, be it through using different social media accounts as puzzle pieces to figure out Margot's true character, missed call notifications as ominous harbingers for what's to come, or live video surveillance streaming to a laptop screen. The film manages to find innovative ways of sticking to its concept. At times, however, this leads to the aforementioned stretches in plausibility. Though it undoubtedly benefits the audience and the visual medium, there are a number of moments that feel a little bit trite, such as the tendency of characters to, even in an emergency, opt for video calls through FaceTime, to type out their true feelings for a message before deleting it and sending something else, or the convenience of social media photographs having pivotal character information caught in their backgrounds. Searching is undoubtedly an ambitious film with a beguiling mystery at its centre. It has a number of shocking moments and makes good use of its visual concept. However, the film could have benefited from a greater focus on character depth and development, as well as broader directorial restraint when it comes to the evocation of its story. Its ambition works well in technical moments, yet when it strives for heartfelt emotional ones, it often comes off as cheesy or contrived. Though I would still recommend it for casual viewing, I'm going to give Searching 2.5 stars out of 5. Thanks very much for watching. If you enjoyed this review, consider subscribing for more movie lists and reviews.